After weeks of preparation and years of planning and dreaming, we are finally on our way for the first leg of our Great Loop journey. We just departed St. Paul, Minnesota with the goal of reaching Dubuque, Iowa by the end of the week. But we're not in a hurry. We have no real plans or any reservations. We'll just cruise at a comfortable 30 to 40 miles per day while we settle into the voyage. It's kind of a strange sensation beginning the Great Loop from your home marina. You know that you're embarking on a year-long voyage, and there's an expectation for it to feel different or significant in some big way. But for the first couple days, you're traveling in familiar waters, and home is just a quick car ride away. So it's comforting to know that you can easily grab something you forgot. But instead of it being an epic start to a grand adventure, it's more of a slow easing into a new routine and the mindset of moving forward. After just a couple hours of traveling downstream, we come across Lock and Dam number 2, the first of many, many locks we'll be seeing on this trip. We've been through this lock dozens of times, but for a lot of loopers, going through their first lock is often a major source of stress and concern until they've done it a few times. So let's touch on a few of the basics of going through a lock. It's never a bad idea to call the lock master on the radio before you arrive. They'll let you know if there's any traffic going the opposite direction and how long your wait might be before you get to enter the lock. And if this is your first time going through a lock, feel free to let them know. While there are a few curmudgeonly lock keepers out there, most of them are very friendly and helpful people. Slow down to your no-wake speed well before you get to the lock. If you enter with a wake, you and all the other boats in the chamber will be bashing against the wall the whole way down. Once you've entered, the lock master will most likely be standing where they want you on the wall. Each lock might have a slightly different procedure, but at this one, and most of the locks on the northern Mississippi, the lock master will hand you a line that's already been attached to the railing on the lock wall. Some locks require you to shut down your engine and others don't, so if you're not sure, it's best just to ask. In a smaller boat like ours, it's not a problem just to hold on to the line with our hands, but if the ride is rough, or you have a larger, heavier vessel, it might not be a bad idea to wrap the line around a cleat for extra friction and strength. Just make sure you don't tie off unless you want to be dangling next to the wall. Hold on to the line until you hear the horn indicating that it's safe to exit.
Did you hear it?
Then, in the order all boats went into the chamber, boats should exit slowly. Just do not pass while you're in the chamber, or you will definitely get chewed out by the logmaster. And that's it. Just take it slow and easy, and this too shall become routine in no time. Alright, so far so good. We're about 2 hours in, 15 miles down. It's been smooth sailing. We didn't have to wait at all for the lock. Hardly any traffic out today. We did have to pull over and drop anchor for a little bit though, because there's a couple things I need to take care of. One is the alarm is going off about coolant being low. And that makes sense because I flushed the coolant yesterday and there's probably air bubbles coming out. The other thing though is that there's a bit of a vibration that wasn't there before we took the boat out of the water. So I'm thinking is probably the old anode that I put back on the prop after we treated it with prop speed. So I've got a new anode ready to go on, and I'm going to dive down and do that right now. It is 61 degrees and windy outside, so this is going to be a lot of fun. I mean, it's not the Bahamas, but it's not bad. Name apart.
Floating water.
In case you missed our previous episode, we managed to hit something hard under the water earlier in the summer. Now, either real or imaginary, we are extra sensitive to noises and vibrations we feel on the boat. It was good though to take a break, get out of the chair, and stretch our legs. And in Willow's case, play with some new toys. Well, we're now almost 6 hours in, and we've gone 26 miles, and the vibrations remain. So I've got a couple other ideas of things that I might check tonight once we get the anchor out. Otherwise, smooth sailing. We're going to stop at Treasure Island Casino to pump out, fill up, and reset the boat, and then maintenance items notwithstanding, we should be good to go for the next 3 or 4 days. Treasure Island Casino is a popular weekend getaway destination for boaters in the area. Big-name entertainers and bands come throughout the summer, and it's one of the more convenient places to get diesel in the area. $650 later, we pushed off the dock and are on our way again.
It's really far, far away, Dad.
It is far, far away. Soon we come upon Red Wing, Minnesota, the home of Red Wing shoes. It's a fun town with lots of restaurants and bars, a beautiful waterfront, and one of our favorite marinas on the Mississippi. No time to stop today, though we pull the drone out for a quick photo op and continue our way downriver. After a full day and 46 nautical miles, we drop the anchor in the northern side of Lake Pepin. We make tacos on my early birthday present and celebrate our first day of the voyage with a special bottle of beer that we bought 10 years ago, the summer that Morgan and I first met. We wake up to a glorious morning on Lake Pepin, and after a leisurely start to the day, we finally get underway for day 2 of our voyage. The first stop of the day is at the pickle factory, where we tie up to their free dock and make our way in for lunch.
A train.
Well, hello, friend. The stop gives me the opportunity to keep troubleshooting our vibration problem while the girls go into town to grab some groceries. It's not long until we're underway past Reeves Landing and towards Wabasha, Minnesota, possibly most famous for some grubby old men.
Tell you what's on my mind. It's butt cold out here, and I'm fresh out of beer.
We pass by the National Eagle Center and continue our way downstream, where we can't help but reflect on the pros and cons of traveling by boat versus car.
So much of what you look at is the highway, and it's really different on the boat because everything is very green and it's just calm. It's not fast. You're not seeing things go by, in an instant. You have a long time to look at them, observe nature. You have a lot of time to just relax. It's very peaceful. It was kind of a hike to get the gallon of milk today, but it's sort of an adventure too. It's good exercise. That occurred to me as well. I was like, wow, this is our new mode of transport. To really be thoughtful about how much can I carry? Can I carry my toddler, my toddler's bike, my dog, and a sack of groceries? Turns out I can.
There's hardly any traffic on the water, so we coast through Lock and Dam 4 without any wait and continue our way towards tonight's anchorage. Dredging on the upper Mississippi is a constant, making sure the channel remains at least 9 feet deep and 400 feet wide. All that sand has to go somewhere, so islands come out of nowhere, making a great place to park your boat and go play.
I feel like we need to get this angle.
Well, day 3 and our luck has run out. We are having to wait an hour and a half for our big tug to come through. We're down to lock 5 now. Plan is to get to or close to La Crosse, Wisconsin today, and then we'll take a down day to get some projects done and relax for a bit, and then we'll continue on. Lock delays are a fact of life on the river. Depending on the size of the lock and the number of barges the towboat has to push through, it can take multiple cycles of the lock to transfer the entire load through, which means we've occasionally had to wait over 4 hours before it's our turn. But when it comes to the river, commercial traffic always gets priority. Eventually it is our turn, and the lockmaster invites us to float in the middle for the ride down, which is a new option to us. All it takes is the occasional tap of the thruster and bump of the throttle, and it makes for a smooth transit.
Well, this is exciting because as of now, leaving Lock 5, we are in uncharted territory. We've never been down this far before, so this is where the adventure begins.
As we continue our trek southbound, we come across the town of Winona, Minnesota, which is not only home to the wonderful Minnesota Marine Art Museum, but also to an impressive community of boathouses, which I had heard about but have never seen until today.
The trees are high.
The trees are tall. Is Daddy tall or is Daddy high?
Daddy high.
He's not high. He's a professional.
It's tall.
Daddy's tall, yeah. We made it to La Crosse, Wisconsin. We're pulled up and tied to the public dock here, which is $10 for 3 hours. And I just got back from a quick run to get ice and got to see some of the town, and I like it here. They're just wrapping up a Pride Festival. And there's some co-ops. It seems like this town is really going out of their way to make you feel comfortable, and so I feel comfortable. Pretty cool spot. Right as we pulled up to the dock, a bunch of people, probably half a dozen, came to look at the boat and talk to us. One of which is a fellow who made his own houseboat, which is right here. Pretty impressive. Big solar panel, looks like a fireplace inside. Everybody's been friendly. So we're off. I'm off to meet the girls now for some pizza. And here comes a river cruise ship that we'll have to check out. They've been following us all day. But yeah, pretty cool town. We'll go a little bit further downstream to anchor after dinner. And then we might spend the day here tomorrow, or we might move on. Haven't decided yet, and that's part of the fun. So day 3, Cruising the Loop, is in the books.
World of Warcraft is the only book.
Score!
Oh, that's not good. This way. Oh.
It's day 4. We decided not to stop in La Crosse and just to keep going. We've motored downstream for about an hour and found a nice little alcove to anchor in. Morgan has to do some homework, and so Willow and I and Zachary are at the beach. We found this big hill to climb up, and so we're sitting at the top, resting and enjoying the view. How do you like the adventure so far, Willow? Is this fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
Do you like playing on these sand mountains?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty great, huh? We just discovered that our feet make funny noises on the sand.
We end up traveling just under 40 nautical miles and find that good overnight anchoring spots are getting a little thin in this part of the river. Luckily, we find a fairly protected spot in a small slough just next to a boat ramp, which is convenient for Guthrie's evening needs. By day 5, we're beginning to get into the routine of loop life. Long, pleasant days underway and the slow passing of beautiful scenery.
Dad, look! And a choo-choo.
Cool.
It's a constant effort to keep Willow engaged and entertained. Being only 3, her interest in what's happening outside the window is only fleeting, so we do our best to find her activities that are not reliant upon the iPad, but some iPad time is allowed for everybody's sanity. Today's cruise takes us through 2 locks. We continue down through Marquette, Iowa, which features the impressive Casino Queen riverboat. Then on through McGregor, Iowa, and Gutenberg. We find a small pair of free docks in Cassville, Wisconsin, and while we touch bottom trying to get to the first one, the second one proved plenty deep for our 2.5-foot draft. The town was dead quiet when we arrived with not a soul around, but it features a lovely waterfront with no less than 3 playgrounds, which somebody was all about. And since we'd hardly seen anybody on the water and nobody seemed to mind us being there, we spent the night tied to the dock. Day 6 started off a little rough. Moving out of a house and onto a 35-foot boat is a challenging transition for anybody, but especially so if you're 3. You test boundaries like not putting your own clothes on when you had no problem with it at home, and when Mom, who's your main source of socialization and entertainment, decides she needs just a few minutes to herself, well, you make your displeasure well known. Luckily, it's nothing that a good snack and a little time won't fix, and before you know it, you're all smiles again. It's a short cruise from Cassville to Lock and Dam number 11, and after a short drop, the gate opens on our week's destination, Dubuque, Iowa. We arrive just in time to see a World War II era landing ship and make our way into the spacious marina. You wouldn't know it by looking at a map, but Dubuque, Iowa is a pretty cool town, and we can't wait to tell you about it in the next one.